it's not within us. We don't have confidence within ourselves. We don't have self-esteem within ourselves. If you don't already have it up to this point, if you lack it, or if you were like me and it was very low, then it's not there. You can't dive down your throat and look around and find confidence. It's not there. So where do you get it from? What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are safe, sound, and healthy during these crazy times, but welcome back to a different perspective. And as you can see by the title, today is going to be on the male insecurity or men's insecurities. Now, yes, ladies, us men do have insecurities as well, believe it or not. And surprising enough, not quite different than your own, but I am also going to be talking about insecurities that are a little bit more unique to men. Not to say that women don't have them too, but these in particular are going to be a little bit more unique to men, as well as some of the same insecurities that women have. I'll be talking about those as well as talking about my experiences with my insecurities and how I've gotten over them, gotten past them, and some of which I'm still dealing with and trying to overcome to this day. If you're watching this, some of the main stuff that I said I'll be covering in this video is not going to show up to the end, so make sure you watch this video from beginning to end. One of my favorite people, a leading specialist when it comes to self-development, self-awareness, and sharing some of the information that I've obtained from him in regards to self-confidence. And the person that I'm speaking of is Simon Sinek. I'll leave the link down below to some of his work so you can check it out for yourselves. Oh man, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I ain't never really talked about this stuff like that, man. And to publicize it right now, this is about to be crazy. Whoo! Am I ready for this? Here we go. Now, like I said in many of my other videos before on this channel, self-awareness is key when it comes to self-development. The more you are aware of the thing that is causing you problems or issues within your life, the better you will be at finding the solution for it. Now, for me in this topic, I had to think back on that moment where I first started lacking confidence. For me, I didn't really realize it until I was well into my 20s where it happened at when I was a kid. And I remember, I thought about it this morning. I was like, yo, that moment where I started to lose confidence had to be when I started getting bullied. And that was in middle school. And that was like 7th grade. Because I remember I went in middle school, 6th grade, confident. I had all the confidence in the world. And then 7th grade, there was a shift. And I started getting picked on and teased a lot. And then my self-esteem, my confidence started dropping drastically, dramatically, with the quickness. So what happened there? Why was people's perception of me the reason why I lack confidence? And what, based on this professional Simon Sinek, has to say in regards to how to regain confidence? You will actually see that those two things do coincide. The way someone else perceives you, the way society perceives you, your upbringing, all that stuff. All that stuff does help in molding the type of confidence you have, whether it's good or bad. Now, going back to my story so you guys can know that I do relate when it comes to having low self-esteem and lack of confidence. And you can even tie this to my subject that I covered on bullying, where I talked about being bullied in middle school, high school, and even some of the jobs that I had throughout my adult years. All of which was tearing me down and tearing down my self-esteem, my confidence. So for me, I remember throughout most of my 20s, I'm 32 years old now, for people that are wondering, throughout most of my 20s, this is what I would tell myself, and this is exactly how I would say it to myself. I don't have low self-esteem. I don't have lack of confidence. I have no self-esteem. I have zero confidence. It's so bad that it's in the negative. I have -10 on confidence and self-esteem scale. That's exactly what I would say to myself. Now, it's hard to go from -10 to 0. I was like, yo, if I could at least get to 0, I'll be a lot better. But what was the problem there? What was I doing? I kept telling myself that I had low self-esteem. I kept telling myself that I lacked confidence. So guess what? I talked about the subconscious before on this channel. My subconscious believed that, because I emotionalized that thought. It didn't matter if I tried to tell myself anything different in that moment. That's what my subconscious mind believed. That was my truth to myself. So now I'm sure at this point you're thinking, well, okay, so how do I find it? How do I find self-esteem? Where is it? How do I look within myself to find confidence? Unfortunately, it's not within us. I didn't mean to laugh, but it's not within us. We don't have confidence within ourselves. We don't have self-esteem within ourselves. If you don't already have it up to this point, if you lack it, or if you were like me and it was very low, then it's not there. You can't dive down your throat and look around and find confidence. It's not there. So where do you get it from? Like Simon Sinek says, he's like, confidence or lack thereof was created or not created based upon your environment, your upbringing, your parents, your school, some of your jobs that you may have worked at. All of those different dynamics structure the way your confidence is built or not built, for better or for worse, good or bad. But in order to obtain confidence, and this was something that unfortunately I wasn't too thrilled about, but I've heard multiple specialists talk about this in a way that it made so much sense that it had to be true. And I definitely found that it was true based upon my own experience. Confidence, you don't find it within yourself. It's actually the reassurance that you get from other people around you. Ain't that something? This will be one of the only times where you will ever hear me on this channel say you need something from somebody else to validate your worth. Anything else, you won't hear me say that. You will hear me say, look within, you can do it yourself, believe in yourself. But this is the only time, or one of the only times, because I don't know it all. There's more information that's going to be presented to me in the future, I'm sure. But this is one of the only times you'll ever hear me say validation from somebody else is going to help build your confidence or build up your self-esteem. Because there's going to be those people that care about you, that tells you, hey, you're good enough, push you to do this, push you to do that. Because I used to wonder, for example, I'm going to give you two examples, a good and a bad. I'm going to tell you a bad experience that I had from my own mother shutting down my self-esteem, and a good experience from something that I recognize amongst my peers. I'm going to start with the good first. Let's start with the good. I remember thinking back in high school, I would like kind of just observe people, and the guys that I saw that had so much confidence, they could go up to any girl and talk to them. I remember I was on the track walking around the field one day during PE, and we was walking with this one guy that I thought was just full of confidence, and he was like, yo, you dare me to go talk to those girls? Like, bro, yeah, go do it, go talk to them. He went up to her, talked to her, got shut down with no problem. He wasn't sad, upset, or anything. And I remember he came back to us, and I was like, dude, there's no way. I'm like, you got turned down. There's no way I could have done that. I would feel like crap right now. He was like, no big deal. He brushed it off like it was nothing. Where did he get that confidence from to be able to do that, as well as to not feel down that he didn't get the response that he was hoping for? Well, it's because of two things, one of which I did. I gave him that extra boost to go do it. I dared him to go do it, as well as his friends. The people that he had around him, they were hype men for him. They would give him that extra boost of confidence that he needed in order to go out there and approach a female or do something like that. It's that 5-year-old kid that's not confident enough in himself to go out there and score that goal for his team. Then he has his parents back in the stands rooting him on, telling him that he can do it. That's where that confidence is. That's where that confidence comes from. Or his coach or his other teammates telling him that he can do it. That's where that confidence comes from. It's built up within us by knowing that the people that are around us support us and care for us enough to believe in us that we can do something that we ourselves don't believe that we can do. Now, I know I can see it in your faces right now. Some of you are watching this right now and you're feeling sad because you don't have that dynamic around you right now. You don't have the type of people that will hype you up, support you. You might be somebody that has people that will, if anything, will tear you down. So you might be feeling like, oh, damn, like this is why my confidence is low. This is why my self-esteem is so bad, because I don't have the right people around me. And I'm hopeless. I'm doomed. What we have to do is, by any means necessary, find the right people. Rather it be going out and obtaining a new social group of more positive, happier people. Maybe sitting down and having the conversation, this type of conversation, talking about where you are with your own self, and tell the people around you what you need from them, because maybe they're willing to help you. Or it may even be finding online social groups that are supportive and are dealing with some of the same issues and are willing to be there for you as long as you are there for them. Now, I promise you guys another story about how my own self-esteem was being torn down at home. Now, I had a mother that loved me to death, but she never really pushed me to do things. If anything, she would pull me back from doing the things that I wanted to do. If I didn't understand something or didn't know anything, she would tell me that I was dumb rather than helping me find the answer to, or the solution to the problem so that I can be told that I'm smart. When I got older, going for a higher paid job, rather than telling me, hey, yes, that's something that you can do, she would tell me, no, that's too dangerous and I wouldn't want to see you get hurt. Now, I get it, she was trying to protect me, but at the same time, if she would have built me up and maybe believed in me a bit more, it would have made me stronger. And see, that right there is an example of how you may not be receiving it at home, and in the little ways, the little triggers that you don't even recognize as being things that are harmful towards your confidence. So now that you all are a little bit more aware of the things in our life, the little things that are being said to us on a daily basis that are decreasing our self-esteem and causing us to have lack of confidence, now that you're a little bit more aware of what triggers those things, now you can have more open conversations about those things to the people that are around you. Rather it be your friends, your boyfriend or girlfriend, husband or wife, your parents, grandparents. Increase your awareness and pass it on to them. Be very, very aware of the story that you tell yourself. I've said it before, the man and woman that says he can is correct, and the man and woman that says he cannot is also correct. But it's all about what you believe. You believe you can do it, you're right. If you believe you can't, you're right. Change the story. It's very important. So now back to me. Now my confidence went from in the negative zone. Now I would say I'm probably like around the 60 or 55. I don't know, but I'm still failing. But hey, for me to go from a negative 10 to a 55, 60, I'm doing pretty damn good. I would love to get into a 70, 80. I don't think anybody on this planet is at 100% confidence. If you are, damn, call me. I need some help. But I am self-aware and I am measuring my confidence scale as it increases, because it has increased to 10, 20, 30, up to where it is now. But what are some more of the reasons as men that we suffer from and lack of self-esteem outside of what people are putting down upon us? Now, for both men and women, a good amount of us suffer from our image, how we look, how the world perceives us. Now, being honest, if it was not so much about how the world perceived us, then we wouldn't care about how we looked. If you suffer from body dysmorphia, which I do, I'm not completely happy or pleased with the body that I'm in. But if you suffer from body dysmorphia, you not only don't like the way you look or feel to yourself, but you get a little insecure or ashamed based upon how someone else views you. Because sometimes you know when somebody looks at you a certain type of way that they're kind of judging you, even if they're not saying anything. You can tell by their mannerisms, their face, their eyes. It's like their eyes is telling a story about you, and you know what story they're telling. Ain't that strange? Ain't that weird? But that's the human experience. We're amazing that way, that we can pick up on stuff like that. Now, unfortunately, not all of us can help the way we look. But then again, for some of us, like myself, I can help the way I look. So before I did this video, I spent an hour and a half doing a home workout, being the fact that, we can't go to the gym. I spent an hour and a half getting that workout in, transforming my body, practicing intermittent fasting. I think that's how you say it. Practicing fasting, eating on a particular schedule, so that I can get myself back to where I want to be. Understanding that my problem is the problem, I'm not the problem. Now, like I said, for all of us, that's not the case. Simon Sinek quoted another specialist. He was saying, for a lot of people, their problem with their insecurity is not them, it's the problem. They themselves is not the problem, but they need help with the actual problem. And that's me. I'm not the problem, but my weight, my weight is not me, but it's a part of the problem, and it's something that I can correct. Now, going back to what I was saying before, if your family, your friends, your peers, your work, your boss, if they are putting you down, then they are part of the problem. And you need to either address them or address the situation on your own and figure out what would be best for you in order for that to no longer be your dilemma. Now, I know for a lot of you watching, especially some of you ladies that are watching, that part of your insecurity may be your looks. You might not be too happy with your own physical appearance, whether it be your weight or just your overall look. Part of the problem that we experience that is because of the image that society paints for us. Obviously, you've heard this before. I don't want to get too crazy in depth because we've heard it 100 times before, but obviously the media paints a picture of this is beauty, and if you're not up to this standard, then you're not enough. So I just heard something super fascinating about the new app TikTok. It was an article, and they were talking about how the app itself, the developers, the people that's behind it, they favor good-looking, attractive people, that those are the only ones that they allow to go viral on the platform. People that are out of shape, not very attractive, or look bummish or poor, that they don't favor them. They push them down. They don't allow them to go viral or to pick up any real traction on their platform at all. It's like they're targeting attractive people. They want to make the app looks fun, bubbly, appealing. They're trying to bring more and more users to the platform to get people to stay and want to be engaged. Now, if you get on there, you will see that that is kind of true, but that's what the media does to a lot of our confidence and self-esteem. Now, I said a little bit early on that I was going to be talking about some of the insecurities that men suffer or men have that are a little bit more unique to them. One of which is their financial stability. Now, I know for a lot of men that are watching me right now, they may not be in the best financial predicament or the one that they themselves would like to be in. So that alone has kind of lowered or hurt their confidence. I know for me, for a very long time, that most certainly was a big issue for me, not feeling that I was enough, not feeling that I deserved anyone or deserved anything better than I had because of where I was financially. I could barely take care of myself, so I definitely felt like when it came to dating that I was not worthy, I was not deserving enough. I couldn't even afford to go on a date. And that's something that a lot of men, being that we're the ones that are usually the pursuers and kind of got to come out of pocket for a lot of the dates, a lot of us will lack self-esteem around that, not having enough money, not feeling like we're deserving. And that's one thing that I see in regards to the male self-esteem. And that's one thing that I see that's kind of catered a little bit more to men than it is to women in regards to self-esteem. Now, another thing too that's a little bit more unique to men is their height. And now, obviously, we're not talking about the tall guys here because they don't have a problem at all. But some guys that aren't as tall, average to small or average to short, their height could be something that they lack self-esteem in. Now, I know, for instance, my roommate, no jabs at him, but he tries to compensate for his lack of height with going to the gym and getting as strong as he possibly can. And, he kind of has the short guy complex, or the Napoleon complex, if you ever heard of it. They say the Napoleon complex is, they say that shorter men tend to have anger issues or to feel like they need to be overly aggressive just to prove that they're not someone to be walked all over. And he has that 100%. But those are a couple of things that I wanted to talk about that I felt were insecurities that were a little bit more unique to men. And I can go on a little bit further and further because there's definitely more. I'll just throw in one more just for good sake. If you're overly hairy and you lack confidence to take off your shirt in public because of how much hair or body hair that you have, that's another one that's a lot more unique to men than there is to women. Not to say there ain't no hairy women out there, because there most certainly are. There most certainly are. There's obvious things that could be done to take care of something like that. Laser hair removal, wax, trim, whatever. But some of these other things, it takes going a lot deeper and being a lot more self-aware about in order to combat or correct them. But you guys, I think I think I covered enough in this video. If you made it up to this point, comment down below some of your own insecurities, some of the things that you dealt with yourself. I want to do some reactions to some of Simon Sinek's works, Jordan Peterson, Mel Robbins. I mean, the list goes on. But you guys, I'm in the video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got something out of it. And I will catch you guys in the next one.